What? I literally was about to go out with so much energy, and then you interrupted me, and now I lost it. Let me try it again.
I have a question.
What's your
Do I
question?
look at you? Do I look at the camera?
Oh, dude, you should look at the beer and only the beer. So anytime you're answering a question,
Nice.
Okay, I'm gonna start for real now.
Okay.
Wait, do I look at the camera? Or do I look at the?
This is your camera when you're.
All right, cool.
Okay. So I'm supposed to talk to that camera when I'm answering a question?
Yeah.
I can't. It's optional.
Yeah.
You look at both Ben or camera.
Yeah, you go back and forth constantly. Welcome to. Am I peeking? Welcome to the TLBL show. I'm your host Ben Zieper, the Team Liquid League of Legends manager, and I am joined by two of our superstars, two of the greatest players to ever play the game. I am joined by Bwipo and CoreJJ. Welcome to the show, guys.
Hello.
Thanks for having me.
No problem. Was that an appropriate introduction? Two of the greatest players to ever play the game ever?
No, I think you undercut it.
The greatest player to ever play the game and his best friend. Who am I talking about?
I was going to ask.
It's really cool. This is the Bud Light show. We're going to be asking them some questions and talking about the off season, talking about Worlds, talking about next year. We're going to play some games. But first, a shout out to our sponsors. Thank you, Bud Light. We love you. Like you are our firstborn. Look at this is a real video of CoreJJ drinking a Bud Light. You can use that as an asset in the future.
I'm getting peer pressured.
You should never give into peer pressure. It's actually against the Bud Light way to give into peer pressure. Bud Light wants
really?
like strong thinkers and leaders,
Oh,
which is why we have you here today.
Oh, okay.
So don't give into the peer pressure.
No, I was joking. I didn't mind.
Oh, that's cool.
I wanted to try it. You know, you have to try it.
And it was delicious.
Honestly, it was pretty good.
A beer that is of caliber with Team Liquid's brand.
I would say so.
I'm glad to hear it. Core's going for seconds or thirds or fourths. He's actually almost done. We might need to get Core another bottle very soon. But let's just jump into it. Let's just talk about, because, you know, it's interesting to have you both here. I don't think a lot of people would think that you'd end up here. And I, especially having you in North America so soon, it's been great. It's been a pleasure having you for the past like 2 weeks, week and a half.
Thank you.
But let's talk about how we got here in the first place. We had both of us, all of us, had a very early start to the off season. We kind of all got knocked out in groups.
Yeah.
Unfortunate situation for all of us. But Bwipo, let's start with you. Like how does your off season start?
That's a great question. How did my off season start? Well, it started with us losing.
Mm-hmm.
That's usually how it starts. You lose, and then okay, well, what do I want to do? And then I did a little bit of thinking, and I just realized I wanted to be on a team where I could talk to everyone, because I never really had that feeling where I could talk to everyone equally. Like, obviously, I could interact with people. I could like reach out to them, but I really wanted a team where I felt like it didn't matter what happened, I could always reach out, like to all of my teammates. You know, express my concerns, receive concerns and feedback, and that was the goal for me.
And do you think you found that so far? I mean, I know it's been a few weeks, but
So far, so good.
that's great. And no, you go. I'm sorry. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, I'm obviously not sure how it's gonna be in person, but I actually have the vibe is gonna be even better. So I'm very excited about it, because it's like one of the few times in my esports career where I actually feel like, wow, I have everything I wanted.
Well, this is also the first big change for you, because you started
That's
on
true.
Fnatic,
That's true.
and now you're here. I think that's something you can kind of relate to, Core, because you were on Samsung Galaxy for 3 years, 4 years?
3 years.
3 years?
Yeah.
So how did you ultimately come to the decision to leave them when you did?
You know, like when you played in same team for a long time and then played with same teammates for a long time, at some point you wanna learn something else. You wanna explore that new thing. Cause like League of Legends is like kind of unlimited. Like you gonna learn forever. So I've decided to challenge that new thing
Mm-hmm.
and then coming here.
It's that's something you actually have mentioned to me in the past before, that you think every year you should change at least one player. And so far we didn't really do that. I think we had an abundance of changes.
Okay.
Oh, I see.
But going into the off season, was that an attitude you had as well? Like, we need to see some change, or were you okay with things staying the same potentially?
What do you mean?
Like,
No.
did you wanted to see a new team and you wanted to feel a new vibe?
I mean, we are already in the new vibe right now. We need to see how it works. But so far, I'm really like hopeful we were gonna do well.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, I know in off season, everyone is confident. Everyone is like confident, like it's gonna be good. Then everything will be well because we didn't play yet. But I'm sure even though we played like whole year, we're gonna finish good. Good area.
I think we will too.
Yeah.
Is there anything you guys saw at Worlds this year, like that you felt? You know, Gabe, you mentioned wanting to be able to talk to your teammates. I don't know if that's something that you experienced at Worlds, but were there any big takeaways that you guys had at this Worlds that you wanted to bring to your new team that like pushed you into 2022?
Yeah, I mean, I guess my Worlds experience was a bit like that, you know, where things were happening without me, you know. I wasn't really on the same page as my teammates. Obviously, there was a pretty big incident that happened in my team, but you know, both on a personal and gameplay level, I would have enjoyed being able to communicate more freely and you know, just being there for people, you know. That's something that I've always enjoyed. I've always tried to be the teammate the team needed. That's kind of how I made my career. When I was playing in 2018 in Fnatic, my job was kind of just watch the main team play, and I made it my goal to pick up as many things as I could to fill in the gaps, or at least the gaps that I perceived in my team.
How did you do that?
Just reviewing the games, you know. It's like, okay, my teammates are very happy when, you know, someone teleports bot lane. You know?
No more teleport.
Yes.
Your team would not be happy anymore.
I'll find a way. That said, you know, like that's the type of stuff that was like, okay, that was something, you know, my team likes it when the top laner is very involved, when the top laner has pressure, when they see the enemy jungler. 2018 at least, that was like a big deal, you know. It's like everyone's like, where's the jungler? It's like, okay, I'll just play in a way where if the jungler doesn't come to me, he'll have a bad time anyway. And if he comes to me, then my teammates will have a good time. So, you know, that's kind of how that's one of the strategies I focused on. And in general, I focused on whatever I felt like the team needed. And being in an environment where I don't have to guess, especially when you're playing, because you're emotionally invested when you're playing, right? Like, I'm emotionally invested when I play. When I watch, you know, something can be funny or something can be, like, not so funny, but it's not like I get frustrated, right? Watching, it's like, okay, this happened. You process it and you learn from it. But as a player, you get very emotionally invested, and often it's very difficult to tell for me, like, what exactly happened mid lane, what exactly happened bot lane, what exactly happened in the jungle. And because a substitute systems, like, doesn't really happen, which is something that I actually really like. It's something that I personally enjoyed a lot when I was playing in 2018. And I actually think it contributed a lot to my performance for the reasons I just mentioned. But having a team where I can talk to people and they can just tell me, so I don't have to I don't have to watch the game from their perspective, because that's obviously a lot of time commitment, which, you know, I don't always have. I need to play well too.
Yeah.
Basically, what I'm saying is, I really wanted a team that could talk to each other about anything. You know, you have gameplay related issues, whatever. You have personal issues. Talk to me if you feel like it, and if you don't feel like it, just tell me you don't feel like talking to me. That's fine too. But either way, communication for me is something that I really want to improve on myself, and I really want people to feel like I can be there for them, because I do think that makes for the best teams.
Totally. What about you, Core? Are there any big takeaways from Worlds this year that you're bringing into this new team?
What happened this year?
We won. We won it all.
Oh, we won? I mean, this whole year, I felt like the gap was really small. Entire world, between Asian team, European team, like even NA teams. So I thought we had a really good chance to perform well, if we are better. But somehow, I think for this year, I didn't have like many regret, because I feel like we tried really hard enough, but we were not good enough eventually. And that's the thing I wanna basically focus on the next year. I just wanna be the beast. And then I know the all the player we have right now, it's like they can be all the beast. And then when I saw the TP is gone too, then every 3 lane can be beast.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Because you said you'll just walk down bot.
Yeah, I'll walk somewhere. I can still TV back to my lane.
This might be where Garen gets broken because you can just queue down,
Oh shit!
get that movement speed.
Huge. Oh, I used to play mobility boots, Jace, mid lane, and top lane. And what I would do when I was playing mid lane, it was really OP. My strat, I climbed doing this. My strat was I would push mid wave, and then I would walk bot with my mobility boots, and I would just shoot one shock blast, just one shock blast, hit the enemy AD or support, and then walk back mid, and then rinse, repeat. And enemy bot lane couldn't lane because like there was just a shock blast on their face every wave. It was really OP. So I might have to revisit
Makes
my
sense.
Moby Boost Jace.
Yeah, let's not leak any more strats actually, because that one sounds like it might be
Okay,
pretty
okay.
solid. I thought it was pretty interesting this year when rumors started circulating that you were coming to Liquid. A lot of people were surprised that you were going back top lane. When to me, like, I know you had a good time playing jungle and you were a great jungler, but like, I wanted to see you back top lane. Was there ever a world where you're going to stay jungle, or did you know you were going top lane in the next season?
I mean, there's a world where I stay jungle. For me, I realized that if I'm jungling, I really want a team that I can work with really well on all fronts. Because in our team, I think I worked really well with our bot lane, and that's why I think people considered me very consistent, because all I did was run bot lane. And you know, my bot lane is really strong. You know, Fnatic's Upset and Hillsang were obviously a very strong lane, and it was very easy for me to play around them, and everyone thought I was really good at it. But I never had to shore up any weaknesses in my team, because that was Niski and Adam's job. You know, make sure that the bleeding stops. And in general, I feel like as jungle, it's pretty easy to tell whether you should be somewhere or shouldn't be. I think in terms of decision making, it's probably the easiest role, because the information can either be fed to you or it's really obvious to you. There's two ways of playing jungle. One is to play what's good for you, and one is to play what's good for your team. And a good jungler knows how to make both happen at the same time. But even in the case where, you know, your team is not playing around what you're doing well, you can still look good. And I think that's why people considered me a better jungler than a top laner, because statistically, I did look better playing jungle than I did top lane, but that's because it's very easy. It's top lane, it's actually kind of hard to tell sometimes, you know, like, is this the right decision? Is this the right play? You know, should I be taking this wave? You're working with a lot less information, right? Because as a jungler, it's like, it's really obvious what your job is. You go to the objective. Which objective? Your team picks, you know, it's like, it's pretty easy. It's not much to it. A lot of it is you're contributing to what your teammates want to do. So for me, to answer your question, yes, there was a chance I was going to play jungle. I wouldn't even mind playing AD. I wouldn't mind playing mid. Like I said, my goal is really to be the right fit for the team, and not in the idea that I'm looking for the right team. It's more like you put me in a team and I'll find a way to be the right fit.
All right, Core, if you could have Bwipo in one lane other than top lane, where would you put him? It could be jungle. Jungle counts as a lane in this scenario. And coaching doesn't count. He can't
Support. Support.
My job. Probably jungler's there,
Yeah.
I think.
Oh.
What did you think of his jungling when you'd watch him play?
Actually, I remember one moment we scrim against people,
Yeah.
and then he played Lengar, and then
Yeah.
at level 2, like when he used the Lengar scare, I could tell like, oh, this guy must be a Lengar master.
Really?
Like some like really small anger, he saw the small anger, and then he made it, and then, oh wow, let's just ban Lengar rest of day.
Oh, I
Yeah,
don't
was
remember that actually.
You're just playing Rengar so much that you completely
No,
forgot.
the thing is, that's a funny thing. Like, I played him a lot into Talon, because it was like everyone was trying to play Talon, and it was like everyone was spamming him, and I was just like, there's no way other assassins can play against Rengar if the Rengar player knows what he's doing. Like, this is just like, in general, his kit is designed to beat other assassins. That's his whole thing. So I was like, if someone wants to play Talon, I'm slamming Rengar. I don't care. Let me play it. And then I slammed Rengar like 5 times. And I was doing well pretty often, like fine. Some games were doing, you know, unfortunate. But usually I was playing fine. And then it just came to a conclusion like, look, Rengar ain't it. You know, it ain't it. Even if I'm doing well in jungle, it's not enough. So I stopped playing him really early in the tournament. That's why I'm surprised that he's mentioning Rengar.
I think we scrimmed you guys pretty early and like a few times.
Yeah. I don't associate Rengar with good experience, because you usually lost the games I was playing him. But yeah, maybe I had a
Did they
good moment
lose?
or two.
Yeah.
Nice.
And ultimately, you know, Bwipo, how do you end up at Team Liquid? Like, what brings you here?
But right.
Bud Light.
Bud Light, yes. My crippling alcohol addiction.
He's getting help right after this, by the way. This is also an intervention.
Jokes aside, I'm going to clarify that was a joke. It's the players, for me, players are the first thing that attract me to a team. Like I mentioned, I wanted to be able to communicate and find the right players. And as soon as I heard that Team Liquid were interested in acquiring the players I was interested in, as well as housing some of the players I was interested in, like the gentleman next to me, that was what got me here. And then, talks progress, and it's like, oh, wow, this organization does a lot for its players, and this organization cares a lot. And you only hear good things, and all of a sudden it's like, well, I hit the jackpot.
I'll die for you, Bwipo.
Nice.
I'll take a bullet.
I take a bullet for you too, Ben.
You shouldn't. You got to play. Core, it's crazy. I feel like there were so many Reddit threads and like tweets all about these people talking about how so many highly esteemed players like Bwipo, like Bjergsen, all said they wanted to play with you.
Mm-hmm.
Is this like a new thing that people are publicly saying, like, I need to go play with Core wherever he's at? Or
I mean, it's like same for me too. Like I want to play with good players. I knew these guys are really good players, and I want to play with them too. And I'm in Team Liquid.
So it's easy there?
Yeah.
But does it like feel nice to hear these people want to play with you, or how does that make you feel?
I mean, obviously it feels nice, and then, I don't know. I easily get motivated, so those things can also motivate me to play better, to get along with with all new upcoming teammate. I mean, it feels nice, yeah.
Mm. And you guys have been hanging out a lot. Well, you got here a week and a half ago, and Core let you into your apartment.
Very nice of him.
And since then, you guys have been buddies.
You weren't there for me.
I wasn't there for you. I'm so sorry.
I'm joking.
You have to understand, I was helping our other top laners. Joke. There's no one else. I promise. Well, there is another player, but,
That's the thing. I would actually like there to be other players.
Really? Oh, because you want substitutes then. Or you want
I would love to be able to watch my team play and actually just not be emotionally invested. Like, that's what I missed the most, is like not having a huge noticeable difference in player skill, because that's the issue, right? The issue is when me and Soaz played, right, there was not a massive difference in player skill, right? Sure, Soaz was better than me for the majority of the year. Some argue the entire year. Not my point. I don't care. But when I played and he played, the team would function similarly. Like it wasn't like we would suddenly get smashed by teams that we would beat or the other way around. The results were relatively similar. And that is something that I wanted to pursue because it's really nice. It's really nice to just watch your team play. You're not emotionally invested. You can just pinpoint, oh, we're really bad at dragon communication, or we're really bad at this, or we're really good at this. We should keep focusing on this. And obviously that's what your staff's supposed to do. But I've always trusted myself with my, with my vision of what the team needs more than, and in general, like, it's something that I want our staff to focus on as well. But it's not really something that, coaching staff really focuses on in my experience, like the negative, like the shortages that need to be filled, and then the positives that need to be improved. There's a lot going on in League of Legends, and coach's perspective is very different from a player's. So here's the issue. Finding a player of similar caliber costs a lot of money, apparently. It turns out I'm a little bit good at League of Legends, so finding someone that wouldn't be a noticeable difference in player caliber would be expensive. Yeah. So I don't get to have a substitute. That's why I'm excited for Academy, because I'm hoping our Academy top laner, the gentleman you mentioned,
whose name has not been, actually by the time this airs, his name will have been released. The gentleman whose name is Bradley.
Oh, okay.
Position swap from mid to top.
He's a mid laner who went top.
Wow. And a 1v1 champion.
Is he really?
I think so.
Oh, wow.
No one's 1v1 champion until they beat me. Just throwing it out there.
That's true. It's world champion here.
I'm world champion in 1v1.
Wait, you actually were world champion in 1v1?
Well, all stars.
Who did you beat?
I beat Uzi and the Shy Bro.
Are they good?
Adam?
Who is Xiaohu?
Yeah, same caliber of player. Xiaohu, Shy, Uzi, pretty good.
Yeah, I like those takes, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, ever since I joined to NA2, I've been always compete for my spot in Korea for entire my career. It's like for some year I was only watching our main teams play. I wanted to be there, and then for some points, like I had a trainee or sub player who are always looking take my spot out.
Mhm.
And then it was really stressful back then, and I realized that it was really it was really like helpful for me to improve better player. And then whenever I watch our team play without me, and then I can easily tell, oh, next time when I played in the team, I need to do this.
Mhm.
It's the thing, something that your coaching staff cannot easily provide you directly, because like you are the best role player in your team when you play the game. Nobody play like support better than me in Team Liquid. So I know like best like perspectives on the game from support perspective.
Mhm.
So like that's why like this year, like last season, I always wanted like our academy team to be the best academy team to actually compete with like our main team. Like I don't think NA has like really high competitive in general. So at least you need to have a competition inside.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the best way
Mhm.
to improve each other. And then I think one of the reasons why we played really well this year, this year,
Yeah.
was our academy team was actually really good.
Mm-hmm.
And then I want to see those things again next year too.
Yeah. Shout out to Coach Spawn, by the way, who runs our academy team. Yongin, you've been doing these in-houses, and Bwipo, you've been a part of them as well, which has been pretty exciting. But have you noticed that players are getting better in your in-house programs?
I don't know. I mean, I mainly play those things instead of solo queue right now. It depends on day. Like some day, I do actually want to compete. I do actually want to win no matter what. But some day, solo queue time is too long. I just want to have a better environment to compete, and in-house is the one of the good way, so that I can play some game very quickly. Once we start the game, I can keep playing the game without waiting for queue time.
What do you think is the biggest thing that, like, I don't think NA solo queue can be fixed in a night. Obviously, there's so many issues with it. What is the biggest thing you want to fix this year? Something that you can help control, and maybe Bwipo can help as well, because you guys are esteemed players. What's something that you want to work on?
For myself or
for like the region?
For the region, I just hope everyone watch Arcane, that everyone interested in the League of Legends. When I saw the population in NA solo queue, I mean it was like almost half of EU West solo queue, and then EU even has like EU East server too. So the number of people are low, and then those people play less than the other region players. So we actually have a like 25% of population compared to other region. That's what I thought. So that I hope if we make a champion queue, I don't want to see any excuse from any already pro players that I don't want to play game because our solo queue is bad. I hope everyone think that you can be the problem of those bad queue, and then everyone like playing together.
It's what's that phrase? Like you can't fix the world, but you can make a little corner of it nice. And if everyone makes a little corner of it nice, maybe solo queue won't be so bad anymore. How has your experience been with North American solo queue so bad? Oh, he's about to have an opinion. You were just like
time to unleash. No, I'll be real with you. For me, I've always used solo queue as a way to improve myself. I try to take as much responsibility for my solo queue games as possible, and in general, I feel like that's always been the issue. Like you play solo queue, you're not taking like as soon as you blame the system or the game balance or the queue, like the queue time is the only argument that I believe in is like a fair argument for why you don't want to play the game very often or much. But game balance, terrible argument. At least as a professional player, right? game balance is a terrible argument. Team balance, terrible argument. Like matchmaking balance is what I meant by that.
Yeah.
Like these are like arguments I hear about a lot, and it's like, oh, I have to play with flat players and they're playing with challengers. Like it doesn't matter. You're playing solo queue to focus on yourself. You're looking at your own laning phase. You're still going to be able to play your lane out. You know, even in games where people open, you know, it's like you can still practice what you need to practice. You need to set goals for yourself and just do it. Sure, you're not gonna, you know, go to a 25-minute dragon fight and be able to practice a team fight where you're gonna 1v9, which is fun. You know, that is a part of the fun, but it's your job, you know. You need to learn how to practice and learn how to do things well. And if the players that were good at it complained about it, I wouldn't mind as much. But there's a lot of players that are fucking bad at it that complain a lot.
Yeah.
And that's what I mind. You know, is when people that are clearly not at a level where they can't learn from solo queue, yes, you can complain. But it's like people complain about it because they don't feel like they can learn. But that's their problem. Like that's their issue. Like for me, for example, like my solo queue experience here has been pretty bad. Like honestly, like there's a lot of griefers and people that are just generally not good at the game.
Name them. Every single griefer.
The point is like the level at which people play at, as well as playing in-house, for example, you know, and I don't want to be offensive to anyone that's playing in-houses. Shout out to all of them for hustling and trying their best, you know, but I respect them because they're actually trying to play the game. You know, like they're trying to play the game with people that are high level, highly skilled, and they're just trying to practice. And I think that in general, you should be looking to play the game at all times and learning from other people at all times. And my goal has always been to improve, watch the best in the world, copy him. And you can copy them against the gold. Like I can mimic the Shy's movement in a gold game. I remember fun anecdote. Some guy, I was playing on a Smurf account. I was like in Diamond something, playing with my girlfriend, and some guy all chatted to me, Asian fanboy. I can tell by your movement that you're an Asian pro player fanboy. And I'm just like, I took it as a compliment, you know. I'm like, that's fucking right. You know, I spent hours watching, you know, some of the best top players in the world, how they lane, how they move, how they everything, and I can learn that. I can mimic and practice those movements, practice the pressure, practice everything. And what people need to understand is the response doesn't define the correct decision or correct play. What defines it is your movement. You know, the way you make the play defines whether it's the right play, your timing and your execution. And if someone responds terribly, yes, you'll profit more, or you might even kill them in lane. But the correct play doesn't rely on the response of the opponent. And in practicing that and using that theory to practice, it doesn't matter how bad the solo queue is. If the queue time's long, you can't play, that's a problem because you can't play.
Yeah.
But if you can play, it doesn't matter how bad the opponent is, because if you practice the correct execution, the correct timing of when you're supposed to punish someone, when you're supposed to do whatever, then the response on their end doesn't matter. As long as you use your brain, you can you can have an idea of like, okay, this is about how good the outcome should be for me. And using relativity as like, okay, so in this game I got 5 kills TPing bot, so it was a fantastic TP. That's not the right way to look at it. It's more like, if I TP in this situation, this is what I'm going to lose, and the rest is upside, potentially. And that's how you should be practicing, in my opinion. Like, you shouldn't be practicing like, I don't know how people practice, but it's like the result doesn't matter, right? Like, that's how I see it. Like, all that I care about is just making sure that I put myself in situations where the decisions are good. And yeah, people being bad doesn't really matter. The decisions are still the same. You know, if I play against the Shy, I play against whoever else, you know,
Jerry
Nuguri,
Seinfeld.
who won Worlds, who was it? What's his name? Flandre, you know? If I play against Flandre, if I play against the Shy, if I play against Gimgoon, if I play against, I'm naming all the World Championship, all the World Champions, Nuguri, it doesn't matter. The right decisions. True. From my era, sorry, I was a no-name when Cuvée won Worlds. But that's kind of the idea, you know? It's like, the reason why I haven't struggled going to Worlds is because I follow that very simple principle. I will make the same decisions against a bad player as against a good player. And I don't believe that their response defines my decision to be good or bad. It's the decision itself that is either good or bad.
Yeah. As a European import, how much of the stigma around like NA solo queue and the NA player base, like what was in your head when you were getting the offer? Was it something that was pulling you back, or did you know,
no,
like...
I just told you what was in my head. I was like, I don't care. I really don't care. Like, if I play well and I teach myself the right decisions to make, I will win. And it does take a little bit of theory crafting. You do have to, you know, pull yourself back and be reasonable, which is hard sometimes, you know. Like I have experience where I played, for example, Set into Gnar on stage because I played solo queue and I stomped every Gnar I played against, and it's like, oh shit, if I play against someone that actually knows what they're doing on Gnar, it's actually a bad matchup. You know, it happens. You can get ego, but you need to pull that back and be reasonable, you know. Like champions in League of Legends follow a certain rule set. You know, there's rules to the game, believe it or not, and translating those rules into your matchup, into the champion interactions and everything that defines what will happen. And you can theory craft most of it. And what you're actually practicing is the reaction time, and it's the experience. You know, experience is important. You don't want to get caught in a situation where you don't know what's going to happen next. And these are the two things you're practicing. Everything else is like bonus. It's nice if it's there, but if it's not why you should be queuing up.
You guys have been playing a lot of in-houses yet. Do you even play today or no? Did you not do in-houses today?
I didn't play today.
No?
I didn't play too.
How was you know, you came off the plane and very quickly you're jumping into in-houses. How was that experience for you?
It was great. Like I love playing top lane, you know. I love driving the game. It's fun to have something to contribute. I've always enjoyed that, and I feel like in the current jungle meta, at least when I played it, like you're usually playing bruisers, and most of these champions didn't really drive the game. Like you were just there to be strong early game, to put someone that will drive the game in a good position to drive it. That was kind of your job, and you wanted to be as strong as possible so that you could help your mid, AD, top laner, or support. Like you could just be there and be really strong, so when they wanted to fight, you wanted to fight, because you always wanted to fight because you were strong. That was kind of the idea. Of the jungle meta, at least the last split I played. That's why you saw a lot of Lee Sin, Viego. That's why people wonder, why do people pick these champions? Is because they're always strong, right? Level 1 they're strong until level, usually first 1.5 items is when they start falling off, but that's a long time, 15 minutes of you can do whatever you want, I can participate because I'm strong. That's why people draft these champions, because it feels nice to play that way. And it's simple. And you know, I miss that playing top lane, you know, like picking a little tank and being like, brothers, this is my timing. I'm going mid. Let's fucking roll. Like that is something that tool you didn't really have, you know. You know, maybe if you're playing Lee Sin, you can flash kick someone, but it's every 5 minutes, you know. On Sion, it's like, I volt, let's go. You know, playing Ornn, I volt, let's go.
How was you guys casted and hosted Core? How was hosting and casting for you?
It was like kind of fun. But at the same time, whenever I watch the game, I want to play the game so badly. So it was another motivation that I want to play. I want to actually, I want to actually play the Scream. I want to actually play the our in tournament LCS already. I just want to compete.
We can we can do the competitions every day. We could do like races.
Ooh.
Are you fast? Like races, like if he wants to compete, we'll see who can get to the other side of the apartment complex fastest and stuff like that, you know. And this time I might win.
Okay.
How was casting for you? It wasn't your first rodeo.
No, I've done a stint in the LEC. And I was like 1 or 2 games. I enjoy it. It's fun. It's nice to pay attention to. Like, what I like about it is that I can explain my thought process, why I thought what they did was special, why I thought it was okay. And in general, like, I like the idea of defending someone's thought process. You know, like, for me, we're human. We make mistakes, you know, and often people watch the game, and if something goes wrong, people are like, what an idiot. Like, how dare he play that so bad? You know, so like, look, this is what he was thinking. Yeah. That's what I enjoy about it, and that's why I enjoy watching. And now for watching the games, I actually like watching the games a lot, even if I watch players that play worse than me, because I use them as a reminder. This is why you don't do that. It's really useful. You just watch worse players play than you, and you're just like, that's why you don't do that, right? And I don't have to go play solo queue and do something stupid because I get to see it, you know? Like, that's enough for me. And then that's why watching, no offense to the people that were playing in the in-house tournaments, just in general, I'm speaking like watching streams, you know? Like, you can watch Tyler one stream and you can just be like, from the things that go wrong on his stream, he's like, all right, I won't do that. Like, I saw that went wrong. That's not a great
smash
decision.
My keyboard.
Okay, well, I'm talking in-game related stuff. You know, like, even the best and the worst streamers. Now, obviously, the worst is like a little low, but in general, your favorite streamer, you can learn a lot from him just by thinking about the game, right? And that's what I focused on a lot. That's why like people being like NA is a streamer server, everyone streams. It's like that's fantastic. Like, you have so much to watch, so much to see. Like everyone in a high MMR game streams, so you can literally learn all the good things and bad things without even having to play. You can just learn by watching.
Yeah.
And thinking. You do have to think. You know, you have to put some effort into it.
That's where it gets hard for Americans. The thinking aspect.
Yeah, you need to put some effort in, like real effort. You need to actively think about the situation. You can't just watch for entertainment, which there's nothing wrong with that, right? That's a beautiful thing. I'm just saying, if you're up and coming, you want to go pro, use your resources to your advantage. You don't have to hop into a pro view of the best players in the world. I do recommend it, but if you have a hard time translating what they're doing, because maybe it's too far-fetched for you, whatever, start smaller, you know, like watch high-low players, watch a challenger player, watch a master tier player, a grandmaster player, and then gradually as your own decision-making will grow, you'll be able to understand what the best in the world are trying to think as well.
So I'm glad that you think that you can take a lot away from like watching worse players, because we actually have a clip that we're going to show you.
Oh,
earlier today, Hansama and I did a 1v1.
Okay.
And I was hoping that you guys could cast it and maybe like talk about what's going on and maybe give us a little breakdown. If we can pull the clip up, Zach. Zach, what is your title? Zach is our It's Complicated, and he's fantastic. He's the one mixing the show right now, so shout out to Zach. And shout out to everyone at 1UP who put this together. Myron, Joey, and Ben. A different Ben. So this is a clip.
What's the matchup?
The matchup
Pike
is
versus Pike.
It was Pike versus Pike, picked by Hansama. Items were picked by Hansama, runes were picked by Hansama.
Okay.
I want you guys to pay real close attention, because in the end something crazy happens that you might not have been expecting. But I'm going to hand it over to our casters. The analyst desk has locked in. And now I hand you over to Bwipo and CoreJJ.
So it's a door and shield angle? Why?
I'm not here right now.
Okay. So
and you have to ask Hansama. He picked the items.
okay, he wanted door and shield. So he's feeling a little bit insecure, I think. I think Ben had some mental advantage going into the matchup. He wanted door and shield. Make sure he's a little bit of extra sustain in case anything goes wrong. Yeah. Not much else to add here. I can't tell. The Hail of Blades, it looks like. Hail of Blades Ignite, so it is a very aggressive Pike win page. The standard.
I'm blue side.
Okay.
That's why I warded in case of a gank.
Oh, I see. I respect that. He is using his recall to his advantage. Of the Project Pike.
Meta pressure already.
He does have the better skin, so he is flexing right now.
That is the best recall in the game, hands down.
I'm not sure about that, but it is pretty cool.
It looks really cool, yeah.
It looks pretty cool. I don't know. I like Pantheon's recall.
Which Pantheon skin?
Like jumping?
Just his classic. No, he doesn't jump.
Wow.
Oh, you missed it. I hit Hansama.
Oh, wow. And he hit you, and now you're slapping each other. Nice. We can see that this is a little bit of player experience difference here. Like when there's an all-in, using your health potion immediately in your ignite means you win the all-in. When someone doesn't use it. So he immediately popped his pot and dropped ignite, and then you had to start running because you were losing the fight because he didn't commit as hard as he did.
I have commitment issues.
I respect that. It's okay.
Can you dodge it?
He dodges it, and now he's going to throw his own hook. He does connect.
Oh, it connects!
And he doesn't actually commit to the fight, which is a damn shame considering he was taking creep aggro. If he fights you there, he'll take creep aggro and you'll win. And you still have ignite. You still have ignite. So you had a really good situation there. Played it very well. And then you don't use the creeps to dodge the skill shots. That's a very good tip. You want to stand behind creeps when champions that hook when they're pressuring you. If you stand behind creeps, you don't get hit.
Yep.
It's quite a strategy.
Ooh.
So he hits level 2 power spike, dodges the hook again. Some question mark pings being used.
That was
the
by
blue
me.
side. Yes, by the blue side. Okay, dodges another one. So now he has no Q. So now when he has no Q, you want to look for a trade. Gorgeously done. Obviously, that's not the trade we were looking for. But that's okay. It's a mirror matchup. You know, it's not normal. But yeah, if you E first, you're probably going to get stunned. So you're going to want to hit the hook and then force him to E so that you can E after him. I don't even know. Like, it's an interesting matchup, I'll be honest with you. You can't really E. Like, when is he good?
What about you just use E? You know enemy team is gonna use E.
Yeah.
And you use a flash.
True.
And then you will have an E advantage. And you can hold it.
True. That makes sense. Here we go. Pike player thinking. Now, a lot of action happened and we didn't get to cast it. Oh!
Wow.
At this moment, who do you think has the advantage?
It's close, honestly. I'm going to be real with you. It's very close. No flashes up, right? If there's no flashes up, I think... I mean, the advantage is on the Pike near... the thing is, the advantage is now gone. Like, the the wave will get frozen. So red side has the advantage here. Hans has the advantage. But initially, like when the wave was close to your turret, if you could keep it there, I actually think you would be advantaged because it's too close to the turret for him to try to kill you. But if you hit a hook, you're probably gonna kill him.
So here's the thing about this 1v1. I was holding on for dear life, Bwipo.
Okay. I respect that. You know, you're trying your best, and he's doing his best, and we're gonna
I
see.
still have 1 CS, and he has 16.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
okay. That's okay.
2
Yeah,
CS.
it's one-
Is it to
it's
100
1v1.
CS or not?
It was 200 CS or a kill.
Oh, okay. Well,
You're never gonna make it.
yeah, you'll never play for 100 CS. No recalls? Yeah.
No recalls allowed.
Okay, then you're definitely not getting to 100 CS, so it doesn't matter.
That was a Hansama roll. He said no recalls. I would have
Okay.
100 recalls.
All right. You react
Okay.
to the E. It's good. You know,
Thank you. I
your
learned
reaction
from
time
him.
is good. Oh, you just
Oh,
tapped
wow.
Q. Now you're using W for movement speed. Very smart.
Vinny is fighting for you.
Yeah, but this time you're too low. You're going to end up dying. So you turn around. You're going to hit a
You
hook
hit the
here and
hook?
kill him. You have no mana. Wait, he trolled.
Goodbye.
He tried to ego on you, bro.
You were so good.
You completely outplayed him and mind controlled him.
Do you think this is going to affect his mental going into the 2022 season?
If you remind him, for sure.
I'm going to tell him every single night. We're roommates right now. I'm going to go like,
Oh.
good night. Actually, I get your mattress now, too. That's how it works. I get
Oh,
your
I see.
sheets. That was fun.
No, it looked like you had a lot of fun, which is important. Lots of stuff that you shouldn't do that you were doing.
Yeah, well, you just said you learned. Don't laugh at that. He's learning from it. He said it's educational.
Yes, I learned from it, and everyone watching it can learn from it. That's the thing. Like the good reminders, you know. There's good reminders. Sometimes it's just the right thing to do to hide behind creeps.
Yeah, I was lagging, too. The Wi-Fi at the TL apartments is so bad.
Oh, I see.
Oh.
Well, at least you also, you know, that's the thing,
I wasn't
right?
lagging.
You were lower health than your opponent, which is generally speaking a bad thing, right? So if I were not using my brain, I would be like, being lower health is good because then your opponent can make a mistake. And that's not how you want to be thinking. You want to be thinking being higher health is good because it's harder to make a mistake. Because League of Legends is about consistency. Did you know that?
I didn't know that. I thought it was about spamming queues and hoping to God that one of them connects. And a few of them did connect.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Thanks for casting. That was a lot of fun. Maybe I'll be in the in-houses one day.
You
As a
could
player.
be. I believe that you could be.
You're so wrong.
No, you really could be. Honestly, Ben, you're a better player than you give yourself credit for. And I personally believe that talent is a means to get there faster, not a necessity.
So you're saying I'm talentless?
I'm saying I don't know because you don't play enough League of Legends because you're busy doing actual like things.
You're right. I quit. Let's look forward to 2022. It's going to be an exciting year. I think the roster we've assembled is
Yeah.
the coolest. The roster I assembled. I did it. It was all me. It was pretty hard, but I pulled it off.
Mhm.
Thank you.
No problem. You're welcome. You're welcome, by the way.
Thank you, thank you.
Of course. Just
The
don't.
that's what happened in the elevator.
Yeah, exactly. Now, I was telling him that I think I told you this when we were in the elevator at Worlds. It was him and Yamato and Upset, and they were like the tallest fucking team I've ever seen in my entire life.
We're pretty tall.
But he said he remembered me from the elevator.
I was alone in the elevator when you talked to me.
Oh, wait, were you alone?
I was alone in that.
There
in
was
that
another
case.
moment where I saw you with Upset and Yamato.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He remembered me because I went, oh my God, I'm like your biggest fucking fan. Like, can you sign my face? And he signed my face. Looking forward to 2022.
Okay.
Tell me about what it's going to be like to play with Bjergsen for both of you.
I have no idea.
What do you think it's going to be like?
I think it's gonna be good. You know, he's a good player. Seems like a very mature individual that wants to win. And yeah, that was kind of my criteria for the year. You know, like someone. It didn't even have to be mature. Just someone that was very good at the game, that wanted to talk about the game. And we've had some very insightful discussions. You know, and you can tell by someone the way they talk about the game. You can tell like, okay, this guy's an idiot, or oh, this guy's pretty smart. And fortunately, Bjergsen is pretty smart.
Woo! We got him. Young, what about Hans? You've been duo queuing with Hans. Tell me about what it's been like playing with him.
I'm actually really excited right now to play with him and then smashing whoever we play against. Yeah, I mean it's been a really long day that I can learn from someone too. For Valorant you always like need to teach each other, need to communicate, and then need to make sure we both get better, help each other, get better. But I can already feel already good, and then he's you know, um, I can tell why he was really highly rated in LEC and in the world, and then with playing with him, I feel like we can even go higher.
I love that. Bwipo, let's go to you. Next player, Santorin. You were jungle last year. You scrimmed him. You watched him.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the prospect of playing with Santorin since you don't know what it's like to yet play with him?
I like that you updated your answer. Your question. No,
It's a living
I'm very
document.
happy. Same thing, you know, like you talk to him. I've obviously played against him, and he seems like a very capable player. And from what I can tell, he is a very capable player. And he seems like a very nice person, and the combination of both is great. You know, it's nice to have someone that you feel like you can trust. It's a vibe, you know. You don't have that with everyone. You don't talk to someone and you're just like, wow, I feel like I could talk to this person about anything, you know. And that vibe is something that I wanted to build in the team. But from talking to Santorin, I already know that, like, if anything comes up, I can reach out to him, and that's a very comfortable feeling for me. And not to mention, he's really good at jungling, so
He is very good at that too.
yeah, that's nice too.
Core, round us out with Andre Guilhoto, our head coach.
Mm.
Awesome dude. I'm a big fan. How do you feel, you know, working with Andre Guilhoto so far and the upcoming year with him?
I've been talked to him like multiple times throughout the core, and then we met sometimes, and then I feel really good. I mean, honestly, if you have a Bwipo, Santorin, Bjergsen, Hansama, CoreJJ, your job is not, you know, that easy. Head coach is really important role, probably more than one single player in those stack team, experienced team. I believe he can make everyone better. Yeah, I'm actually excited.
I know you were a big fan of CV Max and his coaching style. Do you think Andre has similar qualities to CV Max, or what type of coach is he compared to him?
You know, you never know how good the individual players are, people you actually play with him, and then coaching step is even harder. You never know how good they are until you actually work with him. So I'm not sure.
I have high hopes for him. He's a tall guy, and that's what I think we need.
Oh,
a
okay.
tall team, because everyone at World's probably fucking terrified of Fnatic.
Maybe, I don't know.
It was a height diff.
A height diff?
Yeah.
Do we have height diff in our team now? Bjergsen's pretty tall.
You're tall. Bjergsen's tall.
Yeah.
Dude, Barney last year, Alphari used to talk about
1v9.
getting a standing desk so that he'd be playing LCS, and you'd be sitting at your desk and you'd see him just looking over you. I always thought that'd be pretty funny. Let's see if he does an LEC.
I don't know. I'm not sold.
You could do it too.
It would be funny until you and it's like you're like it's like a punishment at that point.
You have to stand for the rest of the match.
Yeah, exactly. Because you're griefing.
We're gonna play a game, guys. So we're gonna play a game. I hope that's okay. It's called "How Much Money Do You Have in Your Wallet?" I'm kidding. That's a joke. That's not the game we're playing.
Okay.
But also, how much money do you have in your wallet? We're gonna play a game called Off-Season Offers, where we're gonna look at some of the transactions that went down off-season, and just give us like a sentence or two about what you think of the change that this team went through. You guys ready? It's very easy.
Sure.
It's all math equations, all formulas.
Okay.
Zach, can we get the formulas up? Okay, so Cloud9 minus Perks equals Fudge, and Summit plus LS equals Cloud9. So what do you guys make of this? My mathematicians over here.
I don't know. What am I supposed to make out of it?
Well, what do you? All right, let's start with Fudge. What do you think of the Fudge roll swap?
I think it's a really bad idea.
Really?
I think it's one of the weird. To be honest, this is one of the weirdest idea I can actually think about. I hope I will be wrong, because I think Fudge had really high potential in top lane. And he was the like he has NA legends too, so he's gonna be really good top lane eventually, and then he's also still really young. And then switching to the mid at this time, I'm not big fan of this.
Let's talk about Summit and LS, because those are two people joining the team that I think everyone has some opinion on. I know you both have watched Summit in the past. Most North Americans don't know them because usually when you're a North American, if you don't watch LCK, you only know the players that go to Worlds. So what can you guys tell North Americans about Summit and Bwipo? What should we be expecting from you versus Summit in the LCS finals?
Why are you asking me?
I don't know. You know this guy?
Not really.
You ever watch him?
Sometimes.
Any takeaways? Anything important we should know about him?
I know Yamato worked with him, and Yamato spoke highly of him in a 1v1 setting. So like he's very like he told me if I were at a 1v1 tournament, I would bet money on him. But when it comes to decision making, there is room for improvement.
Okay.
So it's like, you know, from what I could tell, it's like okay, he's pretty good.
What do you make of LS joining as head coach?
It'll be interesting to see. Like I'm not sure. It's hard for me to tell. You know, I've had a good relationship with LS. You know, I've always used what I thought was good for my gameplay to my advantage. You know, I've listened to him talk about things, and things that I didn't like I wouldn't do, and things that I liked I would do. So I guess I'm a bit of a rebel there in the church. You know, not a fully fledged church goer, but you know, I've used concepts that I believed were useful, and I've tried to use them to my advantage. So again, he is very smart about the game, and he has very great insights, but I've always been a little bit more practical in my applications of what he tries to teach, and we'll see whether or not he'll go for a more practical approach or he'll be more robust in his beliefs. So that's what I'm most interested in seeing. We'll have to see how it goes. For Summit, I'm very happy he's joining because he's the type of player that I love playing against, because he's the type of player that I am very good against. Very good against neutralizing people that want to win through top lane. And then at least I feel like that's always been my thing. I think that's pretty, you know, in my career I've always done pretty well against, for example, Alphari. I think I have a pretty good record against him for the same reason, you know, very strong in the laning phase. And then falls off a little bit when it comes to the mid-game decision-making and creativity. And, you know, it doesn't have to fall off compared to other players, but compared to me, I would say they don't get as creative or they don't involve themselves as much with the team. And I expect the same from Summit, you know, an Alphari type of player where depending on how well he's versed on the matchup 1v1, he will either be a very big problem or I don't think he exists on the map. You know, it's like he doesn't matter. So that's always how I've been. So it's always how I've viewed these type of players. So we'll have to see.
Let's get our next problem up there. This is like a throwback to doing homework. Okay, so this is River minus PSG equals Dignitas. This is like an off-season move I feel like no one is talking about. Or maybe people aren't talking about it as much as like the other. But he's coming off PSG talent. That's a pretty damn good team. You jungled against him. What do you make of this guy?
Shit, I jungled against him? Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Jungling is so easy that I really don't feel like it's. I don't feel like it's difficult. You know, being a strong jungler is really about how well you can communicate with your laners and play with your laners, and that's why exactly I can't be excited about, you know, a foreign jungler going to an LCS team. You know, the language barrier. Like in my experience, at least, like I don't know if Core agrees with me, but for me, like a good jungler is a jungler that like talks to his team, contributes to his team without taking away from his team, and make sure he's as strong as possible whenever his team needs him. That's really it. It's very simple in my eyes, at least. The jungling is very simple. Very, like, most of the decisions that are tough to make as a jungler, you can make before the game starts. In Champ Select, you can decide whether or not
like pathing and stuff like that?
Yes, you should relieve your weak side or you should strengthen your top side. The hard part of jungling is reacting to the mistakes of the enemy jungler. That's where it gets difficult. And by difficult, I mean, like, do I take one camp or do I take two? Do I invade him or not? That's like the hard part. And sure, there's some nuance in jungling that no one ever uses. That is maybe difficult. That's why maybe people don't use it. But my opinion of the jungle role is very low after I play it because I feel like it's very simple to be a very strong jungler. But to excel in jungle and be like really impactful, which is something I don't believe I achieved, I think requires an insane understanding of the game way beyond what I could display. And that's obviously what I'm excited to see. And I just don't think that importing a jungler will ever give him that environment. And that's what I'm worried about because he really needs to communicate with his laners super well. He needs to be on the same page. Like, that's the thing. You need to breathe the same air, you know, like you need to be so much on the same page with your laners, and their expectations need to meet exactly what you're going to do for you to reach that level, that if you don't hit that level, you're going to lose to Team Liquid anyway.
I mean, that's another thing that I don't understand of this Dignitas move. this is my second thing that I don't understand for this off season. Doesn't make sense. They get a liver from Korea, played in the PSG. He played quite well.
Mhm.
He was really dominant in their season, and then they import from Europe. Blue,
Mm-hmm.
and then
Blue? They
Yeah.
got blue?
you played against.
Dude, I have no fucking idea who the rest of the players
Yeah,
on their
he-
team is.
They imported two players. One
Oh.
is liver from Korea. One is blue from Europe.
SK?
From SK, yeah.
Yeah. What is this move? I think I can understand they get blue and then another European jungler or another like English speaker, or they get liver, they get like
Korean
NA
mid.
mid or Korean mid, any like even Chinese mid, even like LMS mid, like anything. But the move Dignitas had, I don't understand.
I don't understand why they imported blue. I mean, absolutely no offense to the guy. I'm sure he tried his best, but yeah, the silent. Like, I'm trying to think of what makes me remember him, and there's nothing.
We'll edit some like I think he is amazing in the post production, just so you look good.
No, I don't care. Like, I have a very, very honest opinion of players, and like
Yeah.
you stand out or you don't.
Mhm.
And that's the thing. That's why River for me is not that exciting. He didn't stand out to me when I played against him. You know, obviously we lost, and you know you could argue he played better than me or whatever. But watching him play as well, I was never taken aback by any of the decisions he made. I obviously have a very high standard. I know that of myself because I like to keep myself to that standard. But like, it's hard to be excited about a move when, in my opinion, when you make a jungle, like when you move a mid laner or a jungler to a team, you're looking at mid jungle, right? Like what
Yeah.
Core mentioned, and it's like blue river. It sounds nice. A blue river is
Sounds
beautiful.
like liquid.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Let's look at our next
Okay.
equation.
Sure, but like I'm baffled. Wait, what the like what happened there?
It's gonna be a spicy season, bro.
Spicy?
Yeah.
It'll be very mild. It's Blue River. It's blue and river.
Mild is a setting of spicy. It's a level of spicy.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
Let's see the next equation. Oh, okay. So this is vitality equals Alphari over Carzzy. This one
Yes.
was announced today. If this was streamed, this would have been like whoa, this is just now. But I think we all kind of knew also for a
Yeah.
long, long time. This is
Yeah,
going.
they didn't hide it. They didn't care.
So let's start with Core talking about Alphari. Core, what do you make of this move to vitality?
I actually really interested to watch how Vitality play, and obviously they spend so much money for making
Mhm.
those roster. I wonder how it works. You know, it's always really good to see like super team works when teams spend money, and then if those team actually work really well, it's good for players. And then at the same time, I'm also really curious, like, can they actually play well together?
Mm-hmm.
Their expectation is like already won the world championship, but do they actually deliver?
What do you make, Gabe?
I think they have a very good combination of players that have been eating shit and losing, and a player that just won the whole year. Right? Carzzy actually won both splits last year.
Yeah.
You know, people might not remember, but that's a good combination to have. You know, like Perks didn't win summer, Alphari didn't win so far. Selfmade hasn't won so far either. And both of them got really close. Like that's the thing, right? Like both Alphari and Selfmade, like they realize this is there. Like I'm sure they know, like this is it. You know, we don't win now, we're not winning at all. Which is a very respectable mindset to have. And having someone like Perks that has won a lot in the past, one spring as well, but still like actually winning championships in a row, as well as Carzzy, that have won splits in the past, is going to be very, very good for them, because that'll set the guideline of like, this is a functioning team, this is what it takes to win. And it'll just be a matter of how well Labrov, Alphari, Carzzy, everyone plays their pieces, right? Like how do they play their part? Sorry, not how well they play their parts, because that's the scary part. Now, again, Carzzy was playing weak side. Armut was usually getting the resources on the Wukong and stuff like this. This was their bread and butter. Playing a strong mid jungle and playing towards the side lane. That was Mad Lion's way to win, and that sounds like something very positive for a player like Alphari. So we'll have to see whether or not it will kill the Nexus down the line, but at least for the foreseeable future, I'm sure this will be a very strong team from the start of the split, knowing the players. My worry would be how well they evolve, how their player interactions evolve, how they communicate, how they do reviews and everything like this. That is where I could see the team maybe having a little bit of an implosion at some point, some frustrations that don't go well. This is all purely speculation based off my experience with the players, but again, I have very high hopes for them, and I sincerely hope that the players do well on that team, because they've all worked their asses off for a long time, and I'm on very good terms with many of them, so I wish them all the best.
I miss you, Barney. Let's go to our next equation. Let's see what we got there. Oh, yeah, this is tactical plus Spica equals TSM FTX. What do you guys make of the? I know you've never played tactical, actually, have you? You've scrimmed it, but you've never played him against him on a stage match, have you?
I don't think I've played against on an official match.
But you played against Spica at Worlds last year, didn't you?
Yeah, 2020 Worlds.
How was that?
Oh, I don't know. I stopped playing. I couldn't play the game, so I'm not sure.
Oh, you're a time laner, yeah.
Broken Blade wasn't having a good time blind picking Camille into the Volibear one trick. Yeah, I played a lot of Volibear in the solo queue. I was ready for that matchup, and I could tell he wasn't.
What do you guys make of TSM this year? Core, what should we expect from them? Are they a top 2 team? Well, we actually don't know 2 of their players, too.
I think when I only look at the 2 players joining team TSM, sounds really good so far.
They're
really
super talented, strong individual players.
Talented. They're all the NA players. They're really good friends, each other. A really good pairs. I think TSM also had a really easy time to build out best team, like one of the best team with those players. But I'm not sure how they finish it there.
Yeah, no one
Rest
knows
of
yet.
teams.
Yeah, I agree. The rest of the equation is missing here for us
Yeah.
to make a good discussion about this. I have to agree, though, having 2 resident NA players that you don't go like, when you think about the matchup into the other players. Like, for example, you like Tactical Hands, it's like, we can see something happening there, right? And you think of Spica into anyone else in the NLCS, same thing. You're not like Spica inspired. That's not your reaction. And the fact that they're both NA residents, and that doesn't make you go like, very good thing. Very good start. Now, obviously, TSM has the history of spending a little bit too much money on a little less returns, so we're going to have to hope that the money goes to a better place now. No offense.
I don't know what happened in 2020, or 2021. It was 2021. Was it 2021? Yeah.
6 million.
Let's get, I think this is our next one's our final equation, but I might be mistaken. Let's see what it is. Oh, no, we have one more after this, but Reckless minus G2 equals K Corp. This is a pretty shocking move. I don't think a lot of people expected it.
True.
You played with Reckless in the past.
I did play with Reckless in the past.
How do you think K Corp's going to do for him? I mean, the guy's got the fan base for the French fans.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously going to be a very fruitful, partnership. I obviously think that any team that brings Reckless will bring a lot of fan base, a lot of possibilities. You saw Ralph Lauren partner with G2. I'm sure in part that was thanks to Reckless. There are big opportunities on the organizational side. Now, when it comes to gameplay, for me, Reckless has always been someone that has kept to himself. In the idea that I know he wants to improve this. Like, he said this on stream multiple times that he wants to improve that, but like he wouldn't voice his issues publicly in the team. Not publicly in the team is what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Like he would keep to himself, and you would kind of have to read what his mind was thinking. Which was actually something that I was able to do in 2018 very well, thanks to the fact that I was watching the games a lot, and I could tell, like, okay, like he's having a really hard time playing the game here because of these factors. And I think that me being able to read into that was one of the reasons why we worked so well together when I played. I could very well tell what Reckless was trying to think, and at least what I thought he was thinking, and how I could help him play better, play more comfortably, better, have a better situation in the game. You get my point. So I'm a bit worried that if he's going to go to K Corp, because K Corp is losing a lot of its veteran players. I think at least aren't they losing?
They're keeping Cabo, or they have Cabo.
They have Cabo, but like their jungler is going, their bot lane, their support is going, and their mid lane is staying. I'm not sure.
I think mid lane is staying.
Okay, well, if they're keeping their solo lanes, that's a good start. But again, jungle support is the most closely related to AD carry in the League of Legends game. So finding a jungle support that will definitely make him comfortable sharing his point of view will be super important for K Corp, as well as I'm really hoping that Reckless feels comfortable sharing what he needs in the game. because he's obviously still a really talented AD carry player. Like, this guy's fucking good, you know.
Yeah.
There's no one arguing that, but I do think that was the one thing that bit him in the ass a bit in G2, where if he didn't speak up, he wouldn't get the resources or he wouldn't get the fix. And I think that, from an outsider's perspective, was what got him. With my with my extensive experience of working with him, I did play with him for 3 years.
Yeah.
So with my limited information, but a lot of experience with him, nothing but good things to say about him. If you can translate what he needs in the game for him, he's probably one of your best assets. And I'm sincerely hoping that he can manage to, stand up for himself and let his teammates know, like, look, this is how I want to play. This is what I need. This feels good. This feels bad. And I really hope he can find that in K-Corp. He'll be comfortable to do that, because if he's not, I do worry for, how his bot jungle, like his support jungle synergy will go.
Got it. Core, anything to add to the Reckless to K-Corp? Are you going to go to K-Corp one day? Get the French fans?
I hope I can get French fans not playing in the K-Corp.
Hansama might bring him for you.
I hope so.
True.
Who's the best French League of Legends player?
Ever? It's probably SOAS, right?
Historically?
Yeah, historically it has to be SOAS.
Historically, if you look at the resume, it's probably SOAS still.
Yeah.
But Hansama's trying to get there, I think.
Yeah,
He will get there this year, I hear.
Oh, yeah.
I could see the
There.
future.
If he has good results this year, for sure he will be.
Yeah. And then I think we have one more equation, and let's see what this one is. RJS equals Teamless. Core, I know this is a guy that you advocate for like crazy. Just take this second. Tell everyone why the hell they should be looking at RJS and why they should be picking him up.
I mean, there is like another mid laner to talk about before. RJS too. I mean, RJS is definitely a good player. I think he's at least should be able to compete in academy, but at the same time, he was the last place mid laner in last academy league, I think. So it's really hard to tell. But one thing I like of him is that he always try really hard to improve in off season. Maybe that helped him a lot. I hope. Yeah, I hope he can find some academy team at least.
You mentioned there being another mid laner who's jobless that you think should be on a team. I'm gonna assume.
I have 2 players actually.
Is it? Well, actually, I was gonna say it's Jensen, and is the second one Jizuke?
No, I mean, honestly, first one is Jizuke too.
Okay.
But Jensen should get a team too. But Jizuke was literally free agent too. He was literally free agent, and then he was by far the best mid laner in the NA. This summer split, he was the best mid laner. Now no one was close. No one was close to him for this summer split, and then he's gone.
He'll probably find a team. I think all these teamless players will find teams eventually.
I think it's a matter of like perspective for other orgs, right? Like, okay, you see Team Liquid, you see our team, and you're like, all right, how much do I need to spend to compete with that? That's just the reality of the situation, right? And then you go like, okay, I'm gonna grab Svenskar and Jizuke, whoever else is free agent, right? And you make a super team, and you're just like, all right, what are my odds from like at a glance? Is that even worth putting my marbles into? And it seems like NA organizations have said no. That's my take on it, which is a very reasonable thing, right? Like, that's their perspective on it. Some orgs have, opted into importing talent. C9 imported LS. I'm joking. But they did bring in Summit. There's rumors of TSM. They did a boot camp in
China, right?
In China or something, yeah. Looking for talent there. And that seems to be the solution without breaking the bank. And I think that's my take on it. That's why they're like, in a way, I think we are contributing to the fact that these players are a little bit jobless because they have a very big and hefty price tag on their names. And the question is it worth investing in them if you don't win the split? Especially considering 100 Thieves managed to, surprise people, I would say, with players that were considered B tier. At least this was my perspective, right? They were not considered top tier pro players going into the year, but obviously by the end they made a name for themselves by winning the summer split. So that's kind of how I see it. I think that a lot of organizations are trying to take the same route where they're just trying to, polish the edges of their rough diamonds and hope that they come out shining brighter than we do, because Team Liquid has committed to the age-old strategy of get the biggest boys, put them in the same place,
Get the widest boys.
Yes, they did manage to get the widest. At least that's my take on the whole story. That said, if that's not it, I don't know what it is, because they're obviously very talented players and they're very strong. But I would have to argue that this is probably the reason why you're not seeing all of these players signed on big contracts. And then they probably don't want to sign for a small contract either. And they have certain standards of players that they want to be working with, which I'm not sure about Zuke, because he was in EG, and I'm not sure who was really playing on that team. I think there was Impact, I know for sure. But I'm not sure how he felt about his teammates. Maybe he was just unhappy or whatever. I'm not sure.
Well, I think that's the end of our game. That was a lot of fun, and we're getting to the end of the show. Usually we'd have fans ask questions, but since there are no fans, I think we're just going to skip that part. Is that okay, Joey, to just skip the fan part because there's no fans?
It's live, Ben. Make a choice.
It's not live.
We're pretending.
Oh, it's live. Well, we're going to take this.
Ruin the illusion.
We're going to take this fan question real quick. This fan question comes from Crispy Fish Skin. And he says, who are you both looking forward to working with the most? That was not the way you say that question, Crispy Fish Skin, which you wrote and I did not come up with right now. So who are you guys looking forward to working with the most? Let's start with you, Bwipo.
You mean next year?
Yeah, next year. No, in the next 50 years.
Einstein.
He comes back.
Spoiler. Spoiler. Yeah, it's hard. There's a lot of people to pick from. No bias, probably CoreJJ. I don't know. Again, a lot of my experience was very positive with Mr. Hillesang. I have a lot of good stories to tell, and I look forward to creating a similar bond with Core. And that for me is something that I want to keep. It's one of the reasons why Team Liquid was my main option. So I could play with a support player where the support difference wouldn't be whee. Because I think they're very similar caliber players. Depending on the meta and tournament, I think they're either equally skilled or one or the other is better by small margins, and that's why I look forward to working with them.
Young Joe, who do you have?
Little bit awkward to say right away, but I mean,
it's fine. I'm used to it.
As a support player, I mean, my priority one is my AD carry for sure. It's gonna be Hans, and then I need to make sure my AD ship is better so that I can go top.
Yeah, we'll probably meet halfway. That's what happened in Fnatic 2018. We met halfway. We both mid lanes like, oh hey, you're here too. Woo, let's kill mid.
I like it.
And you guys got pretty far with that roster.
Oh, we got pretty far killing people mid, yeah. And then they picked mid lane champions that didn't die, and we lost really fast.
I think that's a wrap, guys. We're gonna end here. Make sure to check out the Liquid Plus link in the description, and there's probably a hyperlink or a icon somewhere to click on above us. Make sure to earn points for watching Liquid content. Thank you to Bud Light for bringing these buds together and having such a light time. It was so much fun. We all are going away from this bonded. We're going away from this as a stronger team. And after this interview, I don't think there's anyone that could take us down in a best-of-5 series.
In the world.
In the world.
Agreed.
Anything to say to your fans as you guys say goodbye?
Check out Liquid Plus.
Oh, we got the plug. Wait, you youngin?
Thanks for coming.
Thank you for watching.
And that is our show. Thank you all for watching. Make sure to follow everyone on MySpace. All right, thank you guys so much. Bye-bye. Woo!
That's a wrap.